Hi, let's begin by both of you introducing yourselves and what your role in the orchestra is.
I'm Nirmala Rajendra. I play the veena. I've been playing with this alumni orchestra since they formed 2 years ago.
Myself, Muthu. I'm a percussionist. I do very different kind of drumming, like folk. Produce different kind of sounds and all this. I do for the orchestra. Not only orchestra, for dance also.
When did you both get into the arts, and what was your relationship with CFAS prior to joining the orchestra?
I joined CFAS when I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old. So actually CFAS is truly my music alma mater, really. I was with them all the way till 1996 when I was with my daughter, heavy pregnancy, and just after I delivered her, I stopped coming for classes because of my commitments to the child, and I was also studying at that time. So I left CFAS and I've not been back as a student, but I've been with various orchestras along the way. The last show I think I did was in 2005. National Arts Council called me to do a show with some of the Indian artists who came down. So since then I've not been in any show until I came back with the CFAS music orchestra.
Mine was with CFAS was much later because the first program I did with CFAS was dance drama, which CFAS was involved with other schools. It's called Rhythm Mahatvam, choreographed by Padma Subramanian. And I was a drummer too. I was playing this Indonesian instrument, gamelan. Yeah. Because it was script was written by my script was written by one composer called Radha Vijay. And I was dressed like a Malay, Malay costume and all this. People didn't know until when I went to receive my prize. Then they looked at the guy.
How many years ago was that?
I think 90s, I don't know. I don't know. 90s, Rhythm Mahatvam, yeah. First time with Carnatic. Then after that I got stuck to it.
So what made both of you decide you wanted to join the alumni orchestra?
Well, we came for a couple of meetings where they were forming the alumni. Then one of the ideas mooted was that they wanted an orchestra in. It was quite an interesting idea because I had been out of the music circle for quite a while, and I thought that how else better to come back then to your alma mater and help form this orchestra. So we decided that okay, we'll go small, so there was something like 2 venas, 2 violins. The idea was good, so I decided okay. I had that Sundays to come to commit myself. It's just 2 hours, 11 to 1. So I thought, why not?
Me, nobody invited me because I was really involved with the school. I used to play after this Rhythm Mahatvam, this school came to know about my potential, where I can do different kind of drumming and all this, different instruments I play. So every time there's a dance drama, for some scenes you got to do this different kind of drummings. They call me, and I had the instruments. And even now for the alumni orchestra also, different kind of music, like for a Shiva Tandavam you need a different kind of thing. So I do that. Yeah.
Lots of effects.
Yeah,
You came in with powder bottles with the seeds inside to give those effects. Yeah, it's got lots.
A lot of sounds.
And you have all of these at home?
Yeah, a bit here, a bit there, everywhere. So many places. Some in the PA.
Okay. How different is the CFAS that you both first joined versus the CFAS of today?
Because I joined so long ago, there wasn't such a thing as an orchestra. Students used to come in just to have classes. It was really a chore. Even as a 13, 14-year-old, you don't want to take transport and come all the way to class. it wasn't really something that we looked forward to. Then along the way, they started small orchestras, two vines, two violins, one flute. That was the first time we were exposed to orchestra. Different instruments come together and play. Today, you look at it, it's so different. There's so many other instruments that come together, even as a group section. It's not two anymore. It's like we're talking about numbers. You want 5 violins, you want so many vines, and there's so many percussions. It's really different in that sense. You get a different variety. When you're listening to the sound, you really hear a totally different picture from what orchestras were in CFAS those days.
Do you find any difference between the 90s CFAS?
Yeah, it
versus-
improved. See, when I first joined, my first one was Shanta Padmadore as a dance teacher. Then it was Mr. and Mrs. Balaguru Radhan. Then, then we did a few other plays, no, with the present teachers. Well, it's very good experience, no? Because you have some of the best teachers here. You learn a lot. Still learning, 70 years old, still learning. There's no limit.
How do you both manage to balance your family life, your other commitments so well, in spite of
So well, with lots of guilt. I've got an 11-year-old sitting there in the class with me, doing his homework and doing his assessment papers. With a certain sense of guilt. Sometimes, when you have, you don't have such a huge production as this. It's just a Sunday morning class, 11 to 1. You don't feel so much. But with a production of this nature, it's huge. So many people. There are lots of rehearsals. Then you slowly start to feel that, hey, I'm not at home. The exams are coming. Especially now, the school exams around the corner. Then you feel, what's my boy doing there? Even my older girl is 16, so she's a bit more independent. She manages things herself. But I have an 11-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So you don't know what he's up to. So sometimes I drag him along. He comes and he sits during rehearsals. That's not too bad actually.
Does he play anything?
He started with the mridangam, and he went to the piano, and now he's not really found anything suitable. I think he's more a sports boy than music.
So he doesn't get influenced sitting in rehearsal every week to...
Doesn't get. I'm hoping it'll influence him, because I think he does have a little sense of music in him. It's just that we haven't really figured out what exactly to put in. We thought about the flute, then we thought about the mridangam, then I don't know, we'll just wait and see what. After all, I started when I was 13, right? So
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Myself, my 2 children, they grew up. My wife took care of them. But now I'm looking after the grandchild.
Oh, wow.
So I got to be there for him. Now this is why I arrange my time according to his schedule.
Is it more challenging than you thought that would be?
No,
Trying to balance.
Can be balanced.
No, I think it will be a bit more challenging now because we are working towards the production, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of extra that we have to put in. When we just come for normal rehearsals, it's just a 2-hour, 3-hour session, and then you've got so much of energy around you.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
all
The adrenaline
yes,
pushes you through.
pushes you
the week.
through.
Yeah. Do either of you work as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
So you balance work and
Work,
practice and, oh,
and
wow.
yes.
Actually, how do you do it? Because
24 hours not enough.
yeah.
I steal a lot of time. I hope this goes up to some of those who are listening to it, but I steal time that when the kids, especially the 11-year-old, goes to bed, then I try to snatch a 1 hour, about 10 to 11. I do try and run through certain of the parts that's a bit more challenging, where I know I need, I don't want to be, holding back the rest, so I do practice almost every night between 10 to 11 or 10:30 to 11:30. I hope the rest understand. listening to
Exactly.
this.
So basically, you can make time.
You can
for
make
certain
time,
things.
yeah.
So, what motivates you? Is it the energy? Is it the music?
I think it's basically music first. I've been away for a bit too long. It's good to be back, and I truly enjoyed playing the arena.
Me, you see, whenever I meet a friend, very old friend, I say, yeah, you still playing music? The first person, yeah, still playing. Wow, that's cool, huh? So yeah, what to do?
Yeah.
You got to keep yourself occupied.
How has the experience of this production been, and working with 3 different composers as well as me, plus the entire group of the orchestra, which have younger people, older people?
I worked with the other 2 teachers, like Sundaresan sir and violin teacher before. Yeah, okay, no problem.
Do you find them mentoring and nurturing the orchestra, or they kind of leave it to the orchestra themselves to come up to
No, no.
stand?
No, I think they do give
Yeah.
lots of feedback. They do try to add little things here and there. Basically, I think when they hear the total picture, they want to build it up. They want to
More improvement.
embellish it
Yeah.
a little bit more. Then they try a few new things here and there. We try to put in whatever it is that they're expecting to hear.
Do you find that because this is an alumni orchestra, the way the alumni approach music is more mature, as well as their interactions with each other and the conductor as well as the composers?
I think the input that the whole group is getting from the conductor and some of the older, the alumni, because we have got something like maybe half of them are young students, fresh, just after 7th, 8th year. There's the other half of us who try to, put in a very matured aspect into each and every piece. So these people have no choice but to, be guided by that, and they realize that, okay, we really have to do this. So sometimes even in sectionals, I tell the others that, you don't play this line this way. You need to play it in this manner. So that gives it a full impact.
Yeah.
So they are guided by that, and I find that as the mature artists, they listen to us. So it is for us to tell them, okay, you do it this way. I wouldn't want to leave it and say, okay, you kids play the way you all want to play. I'm playing it. That wouldn't make sense to the orchestra, because an orchestra has got to sound in unison. If it's a section, the whole section has to sound as one. So I think we've brought in some maturity to them, and I hope that after this production they realize that an orchestra is this way it's got to be. You don't play in isolation as an individual.
How is the energy leading up to the production?
Oh, tremendous. We meet here like 3 times a week. In the week ahead, I think it's going to be almost daily.
No.
So
Excellent.
But to your earlier question, what you're asking, the alumni orchestra as musicians, so for me students also, no? It was a different playing field for them.
Yeah.
Now it's a different thing. What the school should do is get the other students and get us to play one show here, one rehearsal here. Get all the students come and watch. This is how it's going to be in the future,
That's true. That's a
So
good
you
point.
encourage, then they know.
That's true. Well noted, we'll do that.
I just wish we had a few more mature artists coming back, alumni.
Yeah.
They've kept the way. I just wish we can reach out to those people also to join.
Yeah, very true. Okay, any closing words to the run-up of the show? Any advice, last thoughts?
So what do you want to say?
I'm still stuck with them, no? I hope I'll be with them.
Oh, don't use the word stuck with it. We're not stuck with it. We're enjoying ourselves, aren't we? We're looking forward to the day. Actually.
In future to more programs, no?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you both.